Fifth graders, today you learned about the artist Georgia O'Keeffe, who used found skulls to inspire her artwork. What I have for you today is we are going to be practicing what's called an observational drawing. If I break that word down, I'm observing and drawing what I'm observing. I have 3 skulls that I will pass around the room, and each table will have a turn to observe what the skull looks like and draw what they are seeing. Now, when I start an observational drawing, I always use a pencil. Okay, pencil is one of your most common drawing tools, and usually I have you write your name right away on the back side. Now, because we are working with drawing, you might want to flip your page over and try it again, so let's write our names on last. When I draw, I sketch lightly until I get it right. I rarely ever erase. So I'm thinking about drawing out just the outside shape that I'm seeing of the skull. And when I sketch, I do lots of light little sketchy lines until I get it right, and then I might come back in and darken up those lines. So I'm noticing that big eye, and that eye has kind of a funky shape because I see both the outside and the inside part of that eye. Artists, just try your best to draw what you are seeing and think about each side of the skull. Right now, this other eye, barely see. If you are needing help, your sketch isn't quite going how you expected, just raise a quiet hand and I can come and help you. But this is a little bit of a learning process, so give yourself a chance, maybe try again, and once you've got it right, then you can come back in and darken those lines up. All right, even looking at the top edge here, I'm noticing a lot of symmetry in this skull. What happens on one side happens on the other. All right, so I have the basic shape of the skull down. Now I'm going to come back and add in some value to show where the lights and darks are of the skull. Okay, a really nice tool for that is your pencil and just one finger. So I notice right here is a really dark line. I'm going to try to create some value with that dark line. I'm adding value to that one area just by lightly adding some pencil lines, and whenever I add pencil lines, I'm thinking about the direction that those lines are going. I can darken the lines by adding more pressure, or I can darken the lines by going over the same area multiple times. I'm really trying to darken up that area, and once I've got it how I think could be dark enough, I'm going to take just one finger and go ahead and blend those lines together. I can go back and even add some more value there if I want it to be extra dark. I'm going to go back and do that with all of my lines, kind of thinking about my pencil, making those kind of light marks, and making some lines really dark and some lines really light, kind of adding what's called line variety, especially here in the eyes, showing where I can really notice a hard line from the eye and maybe where it's kind of receding in space, and it's a little bit more challenging for me to tell what's in front and back. Another cool thing to think about is called contour lines, and contour lines show the shape of your object. So I can add a contour line to show that it's flat right here at the eye by just adding kind of some light curved lines. And then that it's another plane and it goes down. So I can add those kind of lines here to show that there's a right angle. I'll try that here as well. Notice how it feels more like a three-dimensional shape instead of things that are just overlapping. So contour lines can be an interesting thing to share or add in. I can add these up at the top maybe too to show that the skull is round here. Okay, maybe think about adding value where those contour lines are. Just kind of experiment with those elements of art, value and line. And how can I use those to show the shape of this skull? Now, fifth graders, my last thing, and then I'll let you set to work. The erasers are here for us all to share. So if you have an eraser, keep in mind that there are probably other friends at your table who are going to need that same eraser. So use what you need and then put it back in the middle so that everyone has a chance to either erase a mistake or come back in and take away some pencil marks. Okay? You are going to finish up your skull adding good line variety, contour lines, and possibly even some value.